Tears streamed down her face as she whispered a final prayer to the sea. Oh, great ocean, if I have ever shown you kindness, if ever my love for you was true, hear my plea now, spare my people from this curse, and take me as your own. With those words, she threw herself from the cliff, her body plunging into the churning waters below. Disclaimer: this story is a work of fiction. All characters, events, and settings are purely the product of my imagination as a writer. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or to actual events or places is entirely coincidental. The narrative is inspired by cultural elements and folklore, but it is not based on any specific tradition or historical fact. In the kingdom of Nyanza, there were two princesses born under the same roof but beneath very different stars. Princess Sefina the elder was a beacon of light. Her laughter brought joy to the people and her wisdom earned the respect of elders. Wherever she went, Sefina was showered with love and admiration. In the shadow of this radiance stood Princess Zara, a younger sister. From an early age, Zara noticed the difference in how people treated her compared to Sefina. While Sefina's golden hair and bright smile captured the heart of the kingdom, Zara's dark, brooding features were often overlooked. People would compliment Sefina on her beauty and kindness, often ignoring Zara or offering only half-hearted niceties. At first, Zara tried to emulate her sister, hoping that by being as kind and gentle as Sefina, she would too receive the love and attention she craved. But no matter how hard she tried, the people always seemed to favor Sefina. Over time, Zara's feelings of inadequacy and resentment grew. The more she compared herself to Sefina, the more she believed that as long as her sister was around, she would never be truly seen or appreciated. Zara's envy turned into hatred the day she overheard two royal attendants discussing Sefina as the future queen. "She has all the qualities of a great ruler," one said. "Beauty, wisdom, and the love of the people," the other agreed. "And a connection to the ocean. Some say it's as if the sea itself listens to her. She will lead us into a golden age." The words stung Zara like 1,000 needles. It was then that she realized she would never be able to surpass Sefina. She would always be the shadow to Sefina's light, the forgotten sister. This realization twisted her love for her sister into a burning desire for revenge. One fateful night, Zara made her way through the dense forest, her heart heavy with bitterness. She approached the hut of the dark sorceress, hidden deep within the forbidden woods, where few dared to venture. The air was thick with the smell of strange herbs, and the trees seemed to close in on her as she walked in. "Welcome, Princess Zara," the sorceress croaked as Zara entered. "What brings a royal such as yourself to these dark woods?" "I want my sister gone," Zara declared, her voice trembling. The sorceress leaned forward. "Your sister? The beloved Princess Sefina?" She cackled softly. "And what would you give for such a wish, child?" "Anything," Zara whispered, her eyes burning with determination. The sorceress smiled a crooked smile. "Anything is a dangerous offer, but I shall grant you your wish." She handed Zara a small vial filled with a thick inky liquid. "Pour this into the ocean at midnight, and your sister's fate will be sealed." Zara hesitated, the weight of what she was about to do pressing down on her. "What will happen to her?" she asked. The sorcerer's eyes gleamed. "She will be claimed by the ocean, but beware, Princess. The ocean holds secrets deeper than you know. It may give you what you desire, but it will demand its due." Zara pushed aside the flicker of doubt in her heart. "I will do it," she said, clutching the vial tightly. She turned and left the hut, the sorceress's laughter echoing in her ear as she disappeared into the night. The next night, while the kingdom slept, Zara crept to the shore. The ocean was eerily calm, as if it sensed the evil about to be unleashed. With a trembling hand, Zara uncorked the vial and poured its contents into the water. The liquid spread like a stain, and the once serene ocean began to churn violently, its peaceful song turning into a deafening roar. The next morning, the kingdom awoke to a world turned upside down. The ocean, their sacred lifeblood, had become their enemy. Violent storm ravaged the coast. Fishermen returned with empty nests, and the crops withered under a darkened sky. The people were terrified, and their fear quickly turned to suspicion. Whispers spread through the kingdom like wildfire. "This is sorcery," they said. "The ocean has turned against us. Someone must be to blame." It didn't take long for those whispers to turn to Sefina. Zara, fueled by her jealousy, subtly fed the rumors. "I have seen her speak to the ocean," Zara told the elders. "She often wandered to the shore, whispering strange words. Perhaps she has brought this curse upon us." The elders, desperate to save the kingdom, were quick to believe Zara's lies. Sefina's close relationship with the ocean, once seen as a blessing, was now viewed with suspicion. The people who had once adored her now looked at her with fear and anger. In the council chamber, Sefina stood before the elders, her voice steady despite the turmoil around her. "I have done nothing to harm our people," she said. "I love this kingdom with all my heart. You all know this." One of the elders, his face lined with worry, shook his head. "But the signs, Sefina. The ocean has turned against us. You have always had a special connection with the sea. How can we ignore this?" Zara, standing in the shadows, watched as Sefina pleaded her case. A twinge of guilt tugged at her, but she pushed it aside. This was what she wanted: Sefina gone and herself finally free of her sister's shadow. Sefina was sentenced to death by drowning. The kingdom gathered at the cliff overlooking the tumultuous sea. The once loving people now silent witnesses to her demise. Zara watched from the front. She felt a mix of triumph and a nagging sense of unease. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. As Sefina stood on this precipice, she looked out at the ocean she had loved all her life. Tears streamed down her face as she whispered a final prayer to the sea. "Oh, great ocean, if I have ever shown you kindness, if ever my love for you was true, hear my plea now, spare my people from this curse and take me as your own." With those words, she threw herself from the cliff, her body plunging into the churning waters below. For a moment, the ocean swallowed her whole and all was silent. Then, as the people watched in stunned silence, the sea began to calm. The storm ceased and the waters turned from their dark, angry hue to a shimmering blue, reflecting the sky above. But Sefina did not resurface. Instead, a strange and beautiful creature emerged from the depth. She had the body of a woman, but her legs are transformed into a powerful tail, covered in scales that glistened like diamonds. Her hair flowed around her like a halo, and her eyes, once filled with sorrow, now held the wisdom of the ocean itself. The people gasped in awe and fear as the creature, Sefina, now the first mermaid, rose from the water. She did not speak, but her presence conveyed a message of forgiveness and protection. Zara, realizing the magnitude of her betrayal, fell to her knees, her heart heavy with guilt and regret. Later that night, as the kingdom slept, Zara tossed and turned in her bed, her mind unable to find peace. She drifted into a restless sleep, her dreams filled with images of Sefina's final moment. But instead of fading away, the dream grew more vivid, more real. Zara found herself standing on the cliff where Sefina had jumped. The sky was dark, the wind howled in her ears. She heard the voice, a soft, sorrowful voice that sent shivers down her spine. "Why, Zara?" the voice asked, echoing through the night. Zara turned, her heart pounding. "Sefina?" she whispered, fear gripping her. The figure of Sefina appeared before her, but not as the mermaid she had become. This was Sefina as she had been, kind, gentle, and full of love. "Why did you do this, sister?" Sefina asked, her voice filled with sadness. I was jealous," Zara stammered, tears streaming down her face. I wanted what you had. I wanted to be loved. Sefina reached out, but I loved you, Zara. I always did. Zara tried to grasp Sefina's hand, but her fingers passed through it like mist. Forgive me, she sobbed, falling to her knees. But Sefina's image began to fade, her voice growing distant. The ocean does not seek revenge, Zara, but it remembers. It always remembers. Zara woke up with a start, her body drenched in sweat, her heart racing. The dream had felt so real, so vivid. She shook her head, trying to rid herself of the lingering fear, but it clung to her like a shadow. That night marked the beginning of Zara's torment. Every time she closed her eyes, the dream would return. She was forced to relive the moment of Sefina's death over and over again, each time feeling the weight of her guilt and the pain of her betrayal. Days turned into weeks, and Zara's once beautiful face grew haggard with exhaustion. She became a ghost of her former self, haunted by the memories of what she had done. The people of Nyanza noticed the change in her, but no one could explain it. Some whispered that it was the curse of the ocean. Others said it was Zara's own conscience eating away at her. But Zara knew the truth. Each night, as she lay down to sleep, she would hear Sefina's voice calling to her from the depths of the ocean. The dream became more intense, more torturous, as if the ocean itself was punishing her for her sin. One fateful night, unable to bear the torment any longer, Zara walked to the edge of the cliff where Sefina had met her fate. The wind howled around her, the ocean below churning restlessly. Tears streamed down her face as she whispered into the night, "Forgive me, Sefina, I'm sorry." And then, just as Sefina had done, Zara stepped off the cliff, surrendering herself to the ocean. But unlike her sister, Zara did not become a creature of the sea. The ocean accepted her, pulling her into its depths, where she would be lost forever, her soul bound to the waters she had once betrayed. The kingdom of Nyanza never spoke of Zara again, her name fading into obscurity, but the people never forgot Sefina, the princess who had become the first mermaid. To this day, it is said that on quiet nights, when the ocean is calm, you can hear Sefina's voice in the waves, a gentle reminder that the ocean remembers all, both the kindness and the cruelty, and that it always finds a way to balance the scales. And so, my listener, that was how Sefina became the first mermaid, a guardian of the seas and a symbol of grace and forgiveness. Her spirit became one with the water, guiding the tides and protecting the shores of Nyanza. I hope you have enjoyed this story. Don't forget to comment and share the lessons you learned. Also, like and subscribe to my channel. I will really appreciate it. See you in the next story. Be kind and stay blessed.